we couldn't just leave you with one game, so let's pick up another game here. Again, going with our Evolutionary Leap on Leap Day. This time we are on the play. We can't. We can go with this. One land. Go Mystic. Next turn we'll have Essence Warden and Llanowar Elves. And then we'll be able to play our Evolutionary Leap, start getting some real value. Hopefully we draw some nice stuff. See, we're up against Delver. Alright, this could be a good matchup for us. Depends on how quickly that Delver flips and how quickly we can start getting life. Once we start getting ahead, that's just going to push the game in our favor. So we'll play out Llanowar Elves after an Essence Warden gains some life, pass the turn. Does it flip? No. Sweet. That is so nice that it doesn't flip. And what's their play here? Attack us for one. Sure. We can't really afford to block. We're on the life gain here, and we need to keep the mana open. Alright. So they flooded Strand for Plains. Interesting. Young Pyromancer. So that means we'll be able to throw down Dwynen's Elite here. Or if we draw a land, we can throw that out and Evolutionary Leap. But I think what we'll do, for sure, get this Elf down. We need to get the mana. We're still stuck on one land. We got to watch out for something like Electrolyze or something like that. But with the color of mana they have open, it's not really going to work for them. I'm not sure what's up with our screen there. It just blanked out on us. Okay. So we got our Dwynen's Elite, gain some life. Gain a lot of life, actually. So, or relatively, we're up to 24. Delver. Still doesn't flip. That's good for us. That means they're either drawing creatures or lands. Both of those we can handle. It's those big flyers that we don't really want to see. Soulfire Grandmaster. It's interesting. Sure. They can gain some life too. It might be a war of attrition here, but we have the better finishers for sure. If we can get down our Emrakul and get multiple attacks, because basically the play that we want to be doing with this Evolutionary Leap, so we'll play it now. But here we can sack that Warrior token, get some value. But if we can get Emrakul in play, get our extra turn, after generating a lot of mana, cast it, then what we can do is Evolutionary Leap it again after attack, or even before we even take our next turn, and just stack up multiple turns in a row where we get to basically attack with Emrakul, and that will win us the game. We'll annihilate their board, we'll annihilate their life, and infinite damage with that would be pretty nuts. So let's see what we have coming up next. Sphinx's Revelation flips their Delvers. I think we're sitting pretty good. We're at 27 life, they're at 17. We need to find some way to deal them damage. They're probably going to hit us pretty hard with those Delvers. We're going to take 6 here. If they attack with that Young Pyromancer, I think we may block with the Elvish Visionary. Might be worth trading. So I think we'll just be taking 6 in the air. We're okay with that. We will play out an Elvish Visionary. Oh, and we get a Heritage Druid. Heritage Druid is just a nuts. I mean, we are able to tap everything we need. We then play it. So I think we'll try and cast it after we get this Visionary on board to see if they draw any counter spells. We don't. We'll stack our triggers. Throw down the Heritage Druid. And a Cloudstone Curio. Oh, man. So if we get this Heritage Druid, we can get out the Curio. Then we can get some major value out if they have no way of killing our Heritage Druid. Okay. So let's tap Druid, and then our Elvish Visionaries. Generate 3 mana. Let's cast out this Cloudstone Curio. Okay, so in response, they're going to Helix, targeting our Heritage Druid. Triggers your Young Pyromancer, that's okay. His token's going to trigger life gain for us. So let's leap our Heritage Druid so we get some value out of that. So we still have 3 mana elves available to us to use their abilities. So we'll tap down those to generate 3 more mana with our Heritage Druid, sack the Heritage Druid, Evolutionary Leap, and we get an Elvish Mystic. It's fine. We'll play that once all these triggers resolve. Our Cloudstone trigger, we can bounce back something here. We should have bounced back the Twins Elite, I think. I think that would have been our value play. Don't know why I didn't do that. Okay. So have to be careful. We'll go ahead and play out our Elvish Mystic. If they have some way of board wiping, it wipes their board too. I think we're okay with that. We will bounce back our creature now. I think we'll take our Dwens Elite. Yes, we'll take our trigger. Let's see, if we caught the first one, we could have taken back one of the Elvish Visionaries, and we'd really be good if they wiped the board, because then we could have had both of those to play. So let's see what we can hit here. Another Essence Warden. Okay, we can play that out now, or we can wait. Still worried about a board wipe. I'm not going to attack. Still thinking. Go ahead and play it, sure. Play this Essence Warden. I may pay for it, I may not. But this way I should be able to bounce back a creature. Get some value that way. And get an Elvish Visionary. This way, if they wipe the board, we have some answers. That Cloudstone Curio is just nuts with this. We just keep gaining lots of life. Sure, our opponents are just like, man, what are you doing? Just kill me already. This is where I'm thinking maybe like Azuri might not be too bad in this deck. I still think he's great. I think comboing off is our best bet and just gaining a ton of life with these Essence Wardens. And then getting card advantage and drawing into what we need. I think that's just the way we should go. Another Heritage Druid. Well, we have to go with this. So if they remand it, we just play it again. If they mana leak it, we can pay the cost. So let's stack our triggers. Gain some life. And what do we bounce back? Anything? Essence Warden? I should have tapped one of my mana elves and got the mana from it and then brought it back to my hand. I think that might have been valuable. Alright, if we get this Dwens Elite down with the Heritage Druid, we are just solid. Because then we have infinite tokens, I think. of the Cloudstone Curio? Should, right? So if we play Dwynen's Elite, tap the Heritage Druid, then we can bounce Dwynen's Elite back to our hand using a token bounce, and then we can replay it again using 2 mana. We're always netting 1 mana, so we get infinite mana pretty much, and we get infinite tokens. But they're doing something here. Snapcaster, and then they have a path, or they could. What was the other card in their graveyard? Oh, there's our opponent. They're saying that we need to go speed this up, right? Well, the problem is there's just so many triggers, right? And there's lots of thought processes here. I've got to stack things correctly and play them out. Oh, he triggered the Lightning Helix, so that's what we're going to probably take to our Heritage Druid here. So that means we will tap our Heritage Druid. There it comes, the Lightning Helix, targeting Heritage Druid. So triggers a Young Pyromancer. Sure, we'll gain a bunch of life off of that. So let's go ahead and tap our Heritage Druid with those Essence Wardens and get 3 mana from that. Evolutionary Leap our Heritage Druid, which gains us some real value. See what we draw. I mean, if we drew another Heritage Druid, that would just be awesome. But another Essence Warden, it's good too. We'll have 3 on the board. Be able to do all sorts of crazy shenanigans with that. Alright, so Helix doesn't resolve because it doesn't have the target, so they don't gain the life. And it's exiled now, so no Snapcaster can't cast it anymore. I love how in X-Mage it says Lightning Helix has been fizzled. That is the term we used to use when we were back in high school decades ago, almost at this point, which is kind of crazy to think about. But back in the 90s, that was the term we often used. Fizzle that spell. So, all right. So we have in our hand Elvish Visionary, Essence Warden, and Dwynen's Elite, 2 mana floating. So let's get this Essence Warden on the table. And then we have 1 more mana floating, and then we'll have 3 mana dorks we can use. Just keep bouncing this Dwynen's Elite back to our hand. Gains us enormous value. So we can sack this token. What we're really looking for right now is Heritage Druid. If we can hit a Heritage Druid, I think we're just golden here. Another Elvish Visionary. It's okay. So we can draw, bounce back the other. Can bounce back an Essence Warden or something if we wanted to. We'll be up to 29 life now. Let's see. Regal Force, that'll be good. We can get that on the board. I just don't know how much of a threat that is. I really think that should be Craterhoof, because if it's Craterhoof, that just wins us games. The Regal Force is just too weak, I think, to pull us ahead. Be interested in seeing how this deck plays in person, in real cards. I imagine it could be interesting. All right. So our opponent is asking, is there a win con, or am I just watching you gain life? It's at a slow pace. I'm sorry. Sure, attack me. I've got to gain a bunch of life back. Yes, I know. It's slow. I have a feeling our opponent's going to scoop here soon. Just can't be helped. We've got to find our win condition. I guess we could play these Garrux and flip them. I just don't know how strong that really is. Right now, we really got to be gaining life because they're hitting us for what, 6, 10, 12, 14 a turn. So we really have to be on the gain life plan. And eventually we'll win this out. Just buying time, getting the right cards. We really need to get another Heritage Druid to get this ball rolling. Guess we could, really played out this Garrux. I don't know. I don't really like those in the deck either. I'd really rather replace those with more Dwyn's Elite or Collected Companies. I think those would really set this deck off, and kind of go from there. Because Collected Company will trigger Cloudstone Curio, and Evolutionary Leap doesn't really let us select what creatures we get either. So getting 2 creatures into play for 4 mana is not too bad. I guess we could miss, but with Evolutionary Leap on the board, we keep removing a lot of our other cards down in the bottom of our library. So our chances of hitting something good are pretty great. We're only playing 16 forests and a Pendelhaven, so 17 land. Everything else is something that we can hit pretty much. Haven't drawn any of their Summoner's Packs. I mean, those would be good right now too. That way we could go get exactly what we need. I wish we had those when they had tapped out. Save that Heritage Druid. Nettle Sentinel. So all we're doing right now is pretty much just gaining life, and we're just trying to regain what we lost last turn, playing out a bunch of elves, building up a board state, and this is where I think Craterhoof needs to be our win condition. We could get him into play pretty easily, buff the team, swing in for trample, and win the game. And I'm thinking, if I were to build this for real, not just on Leap Day, for example, like we're doing today, I just kind of came up with this idea last night. Just, hey, it'd be kind of cool to throw this together. So we'll put these videos up. I'm surprised our opponent is sticking this out. He's going to Sphinx's Revelation for 1. Triggers that young Pyromancer. I think that's just silly on their part. Frustration maybe on their part. Gain some life. That's fine. I gained more life, ironically, than they did from that particular spell. Play a Hallowed Fountain untapped. Attack with the team, sure. Let's get rid of this young Pyromancer just for kicks and giggles. Just so they can't keep making tokens. They could eventually win that way. So we'll go down to 18. And another Evolutionary Leap. So we can play out our hand here, or we could try going with Regal Force. I just don't like that card. Really should be a Craterhoof. If we're a Craterhoof, we could just be winning the game. We need to get more mana, obviously, but we would get there. We have the right spells to draw into it at this point. Yeah. So this is also a budget deck for those of you who are budget conscious. I'm guessing you could build this deck for pretty inexpensive. I'm not sure what the Cloudstone Curios are going for, but everything else in this, the most expensive card really are those Heritage Druids. And they're, I don't know, $8-10 a piece right now. So, for under $100, you could probably build this entire deck and just really annoy your opponents. Again, I would, remove those Garrux and put in Collected Company. I think it would just be a solid play. So we're probably just playing some solitaire here. Lots and lots of triggers, lots and lots of elves. At some point, I guess we could attack. Maybe we should attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Eventually they'd have to stop attacking us. But yeah. So that's the deck. Eventually, just letting you know, I'm recorded over these because I had some problem with the audio earlier. So our opponent's going to scoop here shortly. They're just out of options. They're kind of pissed off that we spent all this time playing this out. They're going to lightning bolt our creature here. That's fine. They're going to try and gain life off of that. We'll just fizzle this spell again by doing Evolutionary Leap, which is so awesome to do. There's the lightning bolt. So that's it. Thanks for watching. This is Evolutionary Leap Combo on Leap Day 2016. Thanks for tuning in to Magic Battles, and thanks for watching and supporting the channel. Bye-bye.